All right, we are back. We are back from a 1 week hiatus. We took a little break. We took a break from a lot of things that I'm going to publish about. So you can read about us taking a break. That will come on our website. Having said that, now we are back to doing some more data exploration with Tableau. Yes, girls?
Yes.
Yes, all right. You want to say hello to everyone?
Hello. Hello.
All right, so what did we do? So we actually didn't spend too much time since our last discussion here on Tableau, but what we did do yesterday was I talked about what else can we do. Do we want to keep exploring some of that data set that we looked at before, which was serials and what was the other one? Music, right? Do we want to do something different? And Lavanya mentioned that maybe we need to start looking at a different data set, and she chose Olympics data. So again, this is our website. The Olympics data is right here. We went to download and click on Olympics data. So I'm just going to go ahead and click that, as well as open the page to understand the data set. One quick thought here, this particular file is a zip file. So if you don't know what a zip file is, it's that was one of the first questions that Lavanya asked. She's like, what do I do with this file? It's a package of files. So if you don't know what a package of files is, ask your parents. Just unzip it, take the different files out, and inside of it is the data that we are going to play with. Okay, so we saved this, and just like before, we connected to Tableau, and we basically started exploring. So we're going to skip through those steps of connecting because we've done this before. But here is what Tableau brought in for us. And where did we start? Lavanya, you want to remind me? I know we built a few sheets, but how did we start about this?
So, first we started looking at the different datas, and then I wanted to look at a certain one. And then I did gymnastics because that is one of the sports that they do in Olympics. And then I know a person who went to the Olympics in gymnastics. So it was Simone Biles. So on this sheet, then it shows some of the data about Simone Biles.
Yeah, that's right. That's how we started. So you said, hey, I know this one gymnast, Simone Biles. Let's look at this data, and that's what you ended up creating. As we were doing this, why don't we give our audience sort of how we went through creating some of this, right? So if you can see, there's like 4 different fields here that she added, but there's also a filter here. So this filter is not something we've talked about in the past, right? At least not on the show. So let's show our audience how did we use filters and what they really mean. Here is a brand new sheet. Why don't you show us, Lavanya, how did you did that? Let's talk about filters. I'll add some concepts, but feel free to just take it away.
So before we did the filters, I added the different things, but
What do you mean different things?
the different dimensions.
Right.
And then the warning says that there's 141,675 members, and that's probably because there's a lot of people that they recorded. So
Can I add in something here? I like what you're saying, but since you've gone through this already, just for the benefit of others, this data we looked at was a data where there was information about each Olympian and the event they participated in, right? So for each person, Simone Biles, if she participated in 6 events, there will be 6 rows of data, correct? But if she participated in 6 different events and 2 different Olympics, then there'll be 12 rows of that data. So we have a lot of data, and they're basically, if it's a lot of data and you're putting it on one sheet, it can get very confusing, right? Is that why we're doing filtering? Just choosing some data to analyze. Okay, go ahead. Why don't you take us further?
I pressed filter then add,
Okay,
or filter and then add,
okay,
because we only wanted to find Simone Biles.
okay.
And then the reason it doesn't show anything is because we have to select it from the list.
There we go.
And then I only wanted one of them checkmarked, so I pressed none.
Okay.
And then I searched up Simone Biles.
So what happened?
Nothing came up. And then we just did her last name.
Okay.
And then she came up, and it's because she has a middle name. So you had to put the middle name before, or you could just do her last name.
Correct. This is just a way to search, right? So whether we search his first name, last name, we can search accordingly. Okay.
Then I checkboxed her, and I pressed OK, and then it showed her.
Nice.
And then I added the other dimensions that I wanted in it, which was
Go ahead.
event.
Okay.
And then there's a lot of events.
Okay.
So then I wanted to filter and then add, because I only wanted to show the ones that she did.
Right. So this is interesting, right? There's only showing 6, but earlier it said there's 2,000 some events.
Mm-hmm.
So the warning is, hey, there's a lot of events, but if you already know that the data is only for one person, then you could have added all of them.
Mm-hmm.
But this was a quick way to check it anyway. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, go ahead.
And then I added that.
Great.
And then I added metal.
Okay.
And I added team, I think.
Okay.
And now it shows there's a lot of teams recorded.
Okay.
But we already put the
Filter for Simone. Yeah.
so I don't think we have to.
Okay, so go ahead, add all members. There we go. So that's what you started looking at in the beginning. So you had one person, you're looking at all the different events that she participated in and what medal she got.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's talk about some of the things that you and I discussed. What does NA mean? Because you asked me a question, right?
It means not applicable.
Okay.
So she probably didn't get a medal on the gymnastics, women's, and even bars.
She probably did not win a medal in that one. Okay, that makes sense. All right, we are going to go to the second sheet to continue discussing that. All right, so what else did you say you wanted to do? So we built the sheet and then what?
Since we just want to see what medals she did got, so then we can exclude the not applicable one.
That's a good point. I mean, you have to decide what you're showing. If you want to show all the events where they participated, you show that. But if you wanted to show only the medal, right, then you have to exclude that. How do you exclude it?
So you can right click it.
Okay.
And you can press exclude.
Wonderful. So what did that exclude?
It excluded one row.
Okay. And it'll exclude all the rows wherever the value is NA in the middle. Mm-hmm. That's an important point for you to know. Even if you bring another person in here in the list, by changing the filter for the name, NA is always excluded. And how do you know that? Can you go to the medal and just quickly confirm that for us? Yeah. I would like to see it. Yeah, edit. So does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So it's always excluded. All right. So before we go further and do one more thing, Livian, why don't we ask you? So we just looked at filters. What do you think filters? What did you learn? What do you think filters do for us?
It makes it easier, so you don't have to exclude like a lot of them. So you could just do it in one place.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you could just do it in one place rather than excluding different values for each one of those people. You could just exclude it here, right? Mm-hmm. So filter is a way for you to decide what do you want to analyze, what do you want to see, what data you want to use, right? So whatever you put in here is what will stay or what will go away. So like name is, let's exit it out. Let's go back there. let's go to name. So if I filter on Simone Biles, right? So it says selected 1 out of 350 people. So that means it will stay or it will go.
Stay because
Right.
it's selected,
Correct.
not
Yes.
excluded.
That's right. Yeah. So filter is a way for us to decide what data we're going to look at. All right. Let's do one more thing, right? So you showed me some other things. You had some other questions. Why don't we go to sheet 2 and remind us of things that we were looking at? So what was this?
This was a table that showed the different Olympics on this side and the city the Olympics took place in.
That's right. And if I remember, you asked me a question saying city. What does that city mean? Is that mean the city of the person or the city of the Olympic location, right? So we found that out by just listing the cities, right? What if there were like 100,000 cities mentioned?
Then maybe it was for where each athlete lived or
Correct.
was born.
Right. And again, if you don't know, always go to your data source. So we're switching to our data source and quickly seeing what that data really means, right? So we're opening it up and it explains what each one of those data set fields mean. This is the host city, right? Where the Olympics are being hosted. Okay, we're gonna go back in here. So we did some exploration. Why don't we go to maybe sheet 3? We don't have to show people how to build this. They already know that. They should know that if they watched our previous videos. What about sheet 3 and sheet 4?
Also, sometimes when there's two cities, it means that it was a joint Olympics, like two cities hosted the same Olympics.
Yeah, that's right. More than one city can host an Olympic. Can I ask you a question? So typically when Olympics are hosted in two cities, their cities are close to each other, right? Mm-hmm. Like Winter Olympics in Oslo and Helsinki. What about this 1972? I see one in Munich. You know where Munich is? It's Germany. And Sapporo is in Japan. Are they close to each other?
No.
Any thoughts why 1972 Olympics are both in Munich and Sapporo? We haven't discussed this before, but any guesses?
Maybe there were two places, so you could either go to one Olympics or the other.
What are those two Olympics?
Winter and summer.
Yeah.
But aren't they every change?
Sometimes they are, maybe sometimes they're not. So do we see a field here that might tell us more?
Season.
Okay, what if you bring season into, where would you want to bring it? Columns or rows?
Rows.
Sure, let's bring it into rows, see what happens. Let's go to 1972, scroll down. Yeah, that makes sense? Mm-hmm. Right? So it's important for us to, again, just understand our data. All right, that's perfect. Sheet 3, let's continue doing our exploration. What happens when you go to sheet 3? I know there's some of very interesting questions you asked. Let's do this one later. Let's take us to the map question that you had.
Okay. So, when I made this map,
Okay.
I was trying to see, I think I forgot now, but I was trying to see where where all the Olympics were in cities.
I think I remember.
Placed on a map.
You wanted to build a map of all the different locations where Olympics were. Mm-hmm. And then you asked me a question.
So when I hovered over some of these, like this one, it said Beijing. And then Beijing is
Vivian, what do you think?
China.
Does that look like China to you?
It says United States over there, so it's wrong.
It's wrong. What else? Do we see anything else? That's way too many Olympics in just US. Ooh, Munich. That's in Germany. Oslo. That's Norway?
But Los Angeles is in California.
Los Angeles is in California. This all looks so wrong.
That's too little Olympics.
And that's too little Olympics. So you asked me that question and I said, you know what? Let's help our audience out, figure it out. So this is city. So something is going wrong where Tableau is not mapping it correctly. And if I go into this option, actually, let me slow down. If I look at the bottom, it says there's 35 values that have unknown geographical locations. Tableau is not able to plot it. So edit locations, I'm going to click on it and say edit locations. So there's a bunch of cities that Tableau says, I don't know where they are. I don't know where Barcelona is. I know where it is. So why is this so confusing? So let's check it out. So let's check it out. We're trying to figure it out, and I believe what's going on is that we don't have enough detail, the right detail to map the country and the city, right? We did try to change this value team, right? And we said, hey, what if this was the country? And we bring that into the detail, and then we got this map, but still shows Beijing in the United States and Oslo in the United States, and my explanation for that is that the city is the host city, right? But the team is the country of the Olympian, right? This is not the team or the host country. So we're mixing those two, which is creating this weird kind of map. If we are simply just trying to create a map of all the people where they're coming from and we take the city out, this seems like a really good map, right? These are all the different places where the Olympians have come from, all the different countries. That makes sense? But just having that city was not enough for us to create the map. That makes sense? Mm-hmm. Yeah? Okay. So we looked at some of that bad data. We basically understood filters a little bit that we haven't talked about before, right?
Yeah.
Anything else we want to do? Or should we do that next time?
Next time.
Yeah? Anything, Livian, you want to share? I know that you weren't part of that exploration before, but now that you've seen this, what's your thought? Anything helpful? Did you learn anything new? Yeah, you're nodding your head?
Yep.
Yeah? Okay. All right. All good. All right. Thank you for sticking with us. Lavanya, you have something to add?
Last time I had a question, but I forgot to ask it.
Okay.
So, here we could use this one as an example.
Okay.
Or this one. So I was asking, like, if I wanted bronze to be red, then how would you change it?
Mm-hmm.
And then I figured it out after that. So you can go to bronze over here.
Can I just quickly pause you? You want to do it on a, so assume that people don't know what you're trying to do. Build a brand new sheet and just put a count of medals and name on it so we don't confuse people with the extra clutter we created. So yeah, just put medal on color, right? And then just our medals, or the medal, field medal, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we had that on columns. And then what were we showing? We were showing a count of it, right? How do we get to a count of the dimension?
Right click.
Yeah.
And you go to measure and you do count.
There we go. Okay. So that was that. And then we had year on the rows, right? So we can show how things are showing over time. Just flip it around. You know how to flip it around, right? Swap the axes, which is right here. Swapping the axes. Okay. So you have that. You have all the medals. Now go ahead and talk about the color.
So I did take out NA, but right now if I wanted to change bronze to blue,
Okay.
then you can go over here, the drop down menu, and you press edit colors. And then this is the automatic color palette, but you can also find different color palettes here.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll just do automatic for now. And then you can click on bronze and click on blue, and then it changes it, and you can press OK.
There
and
we
then
go.
now this
I
is
like
blue.
it. Yeah, why don't you get rid of NA again to make it easy for us? Yeah, there we go. I like that. So associating colors was very easy there, right? Yes, Livian, do you have something to add to?
Yeah, and then also when you can go here and edit colors, then also I'm just gonna change this. Then if you don't know what it'll look like, then you could press apply so it could show what it look like before you press OK, so you don't have to go here all over again. And then if you want, you could press cancel and then
I like that. So if you want to just test a few things out, you do it through apply. OK means you already know what you're doing, and that's okay.
And also one more thing
Yeah.
is that on the drop down menu again, edit
Yeah.
colors,
Uh-huh.
if you want to change the color palette to like traffic lights for now, then you can press assign palette and then it assigns it like the first 3 or something automatically.
Right. Yeah. It basically just spreads it out. So if it's only 3, then it's what you said. Okay. Perfect. Cool. Thank you for sharing that. Colors, filters, Olympic data. I think our next one is also going to be an Olympic themed one. We're going to do a little bit more about Olympics. Yes. All right. Cool. Well, we all hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.
bye.
All right.